from the likes of Tabson and Gobby in their previous match. Who's going to be the one to shine here on Train? So much to watch out for, especially Tizian. Does he have any stupidness on this pistol round as well?
Well, I think Pip made a really good point. Vega, that team that is just dangerous to everybody in a tournament like this. Even the big dogs, they can take a series from you just because of, as you say, all the tricks that they may have up their sleeves. So in a matchup like this, I think we should expect them to play more standard indeed and they have more fun with it. If they can just let Tabson loose, give him some more freedom and Smuya, then they should do that. And this is a good spot to start with. They're on that CT side of the pistol. And Vega look like going to slow things down slightly here. They've already got a man in Pop Dog and T main, so trying to see if they can find anything. But look how far back Vega playing. They really want to use those ranges on those USPs.
As they should. Tabson having a look, spotting some players. I wonder if the bomb came up on the radar there. I think it probably did, as a third person is rotating towards this B bomb site. Smuya elevating his position on the side of the train. That's quite smart, especially on a pistol round, although he has to be very careful. Obviously, hides his feet as well. Tabson picked off on the high ground by Monsieur Tony Black. I like that name. Next, holding the connector area. Smuya picked off. Now the numbers game being abused by Vega on A.
Looking pretty good here, though, for next position. He's got some opportunities, but he will get tagged eventually. The attention is turned towards him, and he doesn't get enough out of it. Leaving things down to Tizian and God B. Tizian has a pretty good pistol aim. We've seen that already, but he's in a 1v4. Now, the bomb is planted. That's quite the tap, but still much more to go. He knows that someone's on the flank. Can he get this as well? Flicks back down for it, but it's going to be the frag for Tony Black. And Vega Squadron will win the pistol round, and they desperately need it. Definitely the underdogs in this matchup.
Tony Black on the attack. Can't think of anything else that rhymes positively. Throwing big onto the tracks. That works, as there are trains, despite it not being train. Smuya will have the scout. They are fully invested in this one, Big Clan. The Deagles are out on two of the players as well. Let's see how Vega Squadron can avoid the minefields that Big are trying to lay. Next, very quickly into the Pop Dog position. It is a gauntlet run sometimes from connector into Pop Dog. If you have a good enough spawn as a T, you can try to stop a player going there. And if you can spot them at least, that's information to your players heading towards the B area and the Pop Dog. Tabson playing close to Pop as well. I wonder if the CTs on A will get aggressive. Next, having to be careful. Tizian and Gobby on the B bomb site. Gobby run the back in a rotation position. Tizian close to the smoke. They lie in wait.
Tizian going for a quick one, but no quick one to be had. Vega sweating Big out slightly at the moment, and can't quite really find anything early to whittle down the numbers before they come in, and seems as though that will be the case now as Vega start to group up, ready to attack onto this B-bomb site. Nades start to sail through the air to assist them in this push. But these Deagles and the Scout, they might be quite scary. And of course there is Tizian close as well with the Deagle, and he'll get one. That's the bomb down. That will delay things here for Vega Squadron. This is a scary round right now for Vega. They've got to collect the bomb. They've got to get back onto planting positions. Pistols all over the place. They're starting to make it happen, though. The Scout can't quite get into action soon enough. Now Smuya's alone.
Oh! Okay, then. That was an interesting peek from Chopper, and he got punished for it. And now the remaining two will want to play a 2 versus 1 situation. Smuya, has he had enough of this? Is he going to maybe save for another round? One would presume so with no kit. Again, lots more damage can be done. He's got no pistol really to drop to a teammate, though. So we'll see what Big choose to do in the coming round. He'll back off and hold on to that scout. Seems like it was a quick decision. And it may be a relief to Vega Squadron. Interesting, though, because if he stayed in CT spawn, the bomb probably would have sent Chopper's gun in Smuya's direction. I'm not sure what gun he had at the time. I think it might have been a UMP, though, so maybe not so enticing a value proposition. 2-0 to Vega Squadron. So far, so good for them. Let's see if Big spend any money in this round. It would be ill-advised at this point. So we'll see. One to watch in this round, I would say, for those of you in GoTV, would be Smuya with his scout. But in general, I like some JR. Every time I pick JR up, though, he doesn't doesn't get a lot done. But let's see. I'm still going to pick JR for a GoTV pick on Vega Squadron.
Yeah, fast round outside is a good way to do it, and not really all that much to worry about. Smooya would have to get a couple of headshots pretty quickly to make things complicated, but he's not really being opened up onto the angle. Allow for that, and here goes JR with that AK-47 and his USPs, favorable angle. He's going to have an easy time of it for the triple, and Smooya completely locked out from start to finish in this round. Where he is now, and ooh, I thought that was a team goal actually, but of course it was not, and it will be 3-0, Vega Squadron not losing a single man. The start that you wanted as the underdogs. Now let's see if they can deal with the full buy coming out from Big, and Godby going straight for the MP7. It's quite fun to see the MP7, and definitely very good. Of course, you know, SMGs are much more situational. We're going to be playing those close ranges, and it does allow him to buy up full grenades, and you can see that is otherwise lacking. Smooya unable to even afford Kevlar with the AWP. So this will be a tough one for Big from the disadvantage they have on utility, but perhaps Smooya can make the difference with Tabson on those double orbs. We know that they are quite strong. Saw that just yesterday if you missed it. And dominating performance from the likes of Tabson and Godby actually on overpass against Renegades.
1 minute 20 on the clock. Godby's positioning in this round will be interesting, considering he has an SMG. Something to consider as he will look to play close quarters. Supporting Smooya for the time being, but as time continues, he may move elsewhere. Indeed he is, towards that pop dog position. So again, trying to make the best use of his weapon. Vega Squadron with a lot of players above the pop dog. There's a pop flash for Godby. Nothing doing just yet. Lots of grenades being deployed, and down comes one player, Mr. Tony Black. There's Tizian to smoke off. This is not a comfortable position. Look how Tizian moves from the left to the right-hand side. Completely annihilates Vega Squadron. Makes it look easy. Spots them on the ramp. Throws the smoke from the left side. Smoke pops. Jumps to the right-hand side. They come out looking to the left. Easy frags. Easy frags for Big.
Yeah, that's a wipeout, isn't it? Not what you want to see if you're Vega. JR will turn the corner, but there is a Tizian waiting, and well, he's good enough to do the damage. 4K from him. Really good round from Tizian, and the first round is posted on the board there for Big, and perhaps there's the first of many to come as these double ops have not even come into play really yet, and they're absolutely going to be quite scary to deal with, I would say. If yesterday is anything to judge from, and of course what we know about Smooya and Tabson, and historically, you know, this has always been a great map for Big. At least when I've watched them, they've always obviously found somewhat of an affinity for this one, and that CT side is where you can have really big halves sometimes, if everyone's heading the zone. I'm afraid for Vega, James. I'm afraid for the impending trauma that could be a reality for them. And there's some good damage early on as well. Tizian, superior angle, gets the headshot. Big start off with the, well, significant advantage.
Tony Black has gone. Now what is Crush going to do? In the middle of Ivy. Last name Shevchenko. AC Milan fans will appreciate that. Big Clan lie in wait. They're far back on the B bomb site, and they don't have aggressive positions on A, enjoying their man advantage for the time being. Obviously, Godby was more aggressive when he had to be close quarters with the MP7, so Vega won't know what to expect. Grenade, not plural, just the one, going into the A bomb site. And maybe they're making their intentions clear to Smooya and co. That's a fast shot from Smooya. That leaves only 3 players left for Vega. What are they going to do? Crush trying to creep out, trying to use the distraction, but it's not much of a distraction if you're not getting any frags.
Yeah, there's this horrible point on Train where if you try to play that pick-based style and you lose a player or two, and because you're playing that pick-based style, you haven't gained any position. There's just almost nothing you can do because there's too many CTs at this point covering too many angles, and so you can't really split the attention that in a way that allows you to have an opening for a frag, or a bomb plant for that matter, and that's a really big issue on this map because you're either in a bomb site or you're not. There's no like mid like there is a Mirage where it's kind of like a contested, like either side could really pick it up and it's not directly leading to bomb site control, but it helps you develop that bomb site control. Trainers doesn't really work like that. So if you play that slower style and you lose a couple players, it just gets harder. It's a slippery slope. And I think that's in that round, Vega really experienced that. And big, they're off to a good start here, James. Despite losing the first 3 rounds, their economy is looking great. They've had no trouble on these buy rounds so far, and the 2 that we've seen.
Looks like Big have some kind of issue relating to heads.
Heads?
Yeah. She was like, do I put this on my head then? Okay, so maybe it's a microphone issue.
I have to say...
But God Beef's like, now we can talk German. I can't talk. This is fantastic. We can talk German all the time.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Yeah, so what I want to see from Vega is a faster round where they try to create some chaos. Use that utility, just throw it all over the place on that A-bomb site, see if they can make it work that way. And just try to use that to be a method that they could go to try to break Big's economy, because the slower rounds haven't worked out. They obviously tried the bum rush down the slope, and they met Tizzy in there. I think that's something you can do, but I think you need to maybe get a pick first, work alley, sort of like cause some rotations. If you just go for that straight away at the early round, it's very, very much a gamble.
Oh, they've got their molded in-ears, haven't they? I remember. Awesome. Yeah, so the Big Clan, all their in-ears are molded for their own ears, which is really, really cool. I want to get a pair of those.
They're not expensive, actually. You can do it for, I think, less than £200 each, I think. So
I'd like to visit Germany soon, actually, because Germany is the home of the Flieger watches, pilot watches.
Home of Curry
which are really cool.
That's why I want to go, James. Curry West.
There's so many Fliegers that come out of Germany, but you can't really go to a store to find them in other places, other countries. So I want to go on a tour of Flieger watches in Germany.
James, there's no good currywurst in London. It's like one place.
No, there's this place.
Hermann the German or whatever it's called.
German. There's a place called Banger Brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have. They had a store on Portobello Road, and they might have some elsewhere. They do some good bangers. Bangers slang for sausages in the UK. Borough Market actually has a German place where you can get bratwurst at least. So definitely, I can personally recommend the bratwurst in Borough Market.
My favourite market so far has been the Chelsea market on the weekends. So it's near Sloane Square. It's very good, very good.
What's good about it then? You can't
just incredible food. It's next to the Saatchi Gallery. Have you been to it?
I know where it is. Yeah. But for the people at home, I mean,
yeah, it's just delicious food.
I went to a market and it's good.
It's just delicious food in a very nice setting. I don't know. It's like very markety. I don't know. It's just a good market.
It's a very markety market. Recommendations from Dan. Soon to make an account on TripAdvisor.
Yeah, I was about to say.
This market is very marketty. I recommend it. It's in a good setting.
You used to take that very seriously, right? The TripAdvisor reviews.
Yeah, I pound TripAdvisor. You've got to give to receive, man. I've had so many good journeys thanks to that site.
How many reviews do you have?
Probably over 100. I have I'm quite storied. I had, actually, while we have this break, I had this company message me because I'm not afraid to leave scathing reviews. And somehow they found an old review, and they messaged me and said, we're looking for hardened reviewers to review this
also
new hotel in Argentina. Yeah, to review this new hotel in Argentina. They wanted to fly me to Argentina and put me in a hotel. But when you get a message on TripAdvisor, you don't get an email. So I had no idea until like 3 months later. I was like, oh my God. So I missed out on a free trip to Argentina to sit in some brand new hotel and give a scathing review. So
maybe you would have got bed bugs, James.
That sucks. Well, maybe not. Hopefully not. I haven't been to Argentina. Would have been nice. Anyway, we don't have. Okay, we've been told headset issues, so maybe they're replacing it. We've got Handsome Man rolled on the scene. He's there in the back corner. He's like, yes, put headset on head. So Smith's like, why would I do that? I'm from England. Meanwhile, Big will reflect on what has been. Yes, they won the pistol, basically, which is why Vega Squadron have 3 rounds right now. But since then, it's looked all big, really. I mean, they've looked strong on these 2 rounds we've seen so far.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like it's just been two buy versus buys so far, and the first round Vega decided to just explode down the slope position. I don't know if they've been studying any big demos, or how their preparation has been, or what exactly triggered them to decide to go for that call, but it did not work out all too well. And it looks quite gambly in that sense, because it was very early rounds, and typically when stuff like that happens early round, it means that you've not really created any situations where maybe you could have pulled the rotation, you pull those players further back, because for example if they're expecting a rush, and if you've thrown some nades and then they've thrown their initial smokes and so on, what they'll end up doing usually is taking further back positions in the B yard, so they'll concede the bomb train so that they can survive, but then you get the space at least, and you have the numbers advantage. So that's usually going to be a more consistent situation than just sort of just bum rushing it without really sort of preparing.
What is he doing? What is he doing? It's like he opened the wrong. He just jumped randomly. What is going on over there? It just looks so weird on the camera. Somebody's like, have you guys been to Greg's yet? I love me some pork pies from Greg's.
How many English stereotypes do you want to fit in here, James?
Doing my best. It will be really interesting if Smooya makes it to LAN, or to live LAN, if you will, to the SSE arena. That would be very interesting indeed, considering how the German crowd received him at Cologne. They were chanting his name and so on.
That's awesome.
It'll be really cool to see what the. It's going to be crazy in the SSE arena. I mean, we've been there a few times for ECS, and the crowd have been amazing. But for a major, I think it's going to be crazy.
It's quite an intimate arena. I think you can really. There's because some arenas the crowd won't. The crowd can be amazing and very loud, but it's not not as the proximity, or they're not as proximus to the front of the where all the action's happening. But in the SSC arena, the crowd is super close. So
it's so cool seeing the Astralis family, people ripping their tops off and jumping around on the stage and so on. It was really cool. So the the game was unpaused, and then the game. Okay, so now we have a tactical timeout from Vega Squadron, so they can actually talk now, and then we will be into the game. What is the situation for the T's at the moment? We have 2 AKs out for the side. Let's see what the rest of the team choose to do, because the money's around $2,000 to $3,000. But here we are into the game. So what do Vega Squadron have in mind for Big? 2 AWPs for Big Clan. 2 people still don't even have a frag on Big yet. Nex and Tabson have just been waddling around, admiring the water.
We're back in. We are back in, and Vega Squadron. JL spent a lot of money actually. Doesn't have too much left in the hole, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. The 2 AKs. It's gonna be tough though. Big have a very good situation here. Tabson playing close with the AWP. You can see that he's swapped out for Tizian, who was previously playing at that position. So a mix-up on the setup, and Tizian obviously back up to the upper position. He's won that 1v1 a couple times now with that AK. And in goes Smooya with a flashbang, and this is it's just easy stuff right now for Big. The slow creep into Tabson's AWP. Oh dear.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they only started this round with 2 AK-47s, one of which needs to be collected right now. So this might not be the most inspired round for Vega Squadron. We'll have to wait for the next full buy to see what they can really do. There is the AK collected. And into the meat grinder. Into the meat grinder. Prosciutto.
Yeah, just so far it has seemed as though the only sort of play what Vega have made together has been that one rush down the slope on B, and we haven't seen that sort of split where lots of players rushing in from different timings. We're seeing just pockets of players just getting picked off at different timings, unable to really offer up trade frags and so on and so forth. So looking to see a difference there. Vega Squadron, previously JR and Hutchie purchased AK-47s, which was cool. Now they're on a Galil and a MAC-10, which can make sense if those players are first in, and Tizian's first in, absolutely slaughtering everybody, although Gopi can't do much to support him there, and that does give an opportunity to Vega.
Smooya's moving forward, so it seems that Big have a read as to where Vega Squadron are and what liberties can be taken by Big Clan. So Smooya's moved into main now, which gives him two options. It does leave him somewhat exposed though if he holds the diagonal angle across the A sides. So this is probably the safer of the two options. Tabson can have a look towards the pop dog from Connector now. That's the position he's in. And Nex is left to keep an eye on the B bomb site on his own. Smoke the lower area, check the upper area, and he can just move between the two. So Smooya doing double duty now, but since Tabson, okay, they just want to get some extra info. But the problem is, if they're above Smooya, which they pretty much are, they will hear his scope, so they've got some information, but they still have to peek him. Almost take two of them out, and now Tony Black is alone. He's got time on the clock, but the rotation's here for Nex. It's very unlikely at this point that he's going towards that B bomb site. You can see him jiggle peeking, trying to bait a shot from AWP, and there it comes, Tabson, patient and deadly.
Yeah, fairly expensive round, and one of the AKs and one of the AWPs lost for Big, which have both proven obviously to be a great resource, but obviously they have more than enough bank to rebuy whatever they want, and Gobi actually going for the MP9. It's cool to see that. Obviously, there's a lot of utility in that MP9. There's lots of specific things that you would want to do with it that you may not want to do with the M4, for example. Like maybe Gobi wants to support a push on Ali, where he goes in first and is flashed in and has good movement speed and so on and so forth. But enough about that. We'll have a rush in from the T's back into Tizian. He's going to have a nice fragging situation at hand here. There's one, falls back safely. Good use of grenades, and Tabson there to support.
Crush is out. He's exposed on the high ground, but he hasn't been able to do anything with it. Two more pistoling players. Gobi's flanked all the way towards main, and JR is heading towards the showers, but Gobi surely has a sound cue here. Gets there eventually. That's the bomb taken away as well. Gobi had his bell rung, so he will fall back. Take a unlikely angle, and Smooya is going for a very brazen play. So that's some money lost for Big Clan. Don't know if that was necessary, but they have plenty of money actually at this point. And now Vega Squadron are back in for the buy. The AK is coming out. So we will see a proper situation for Vega Squadron. AWP onto JR as well. But what can they do with it? We haven't seen much of anything. It's basically a 5-0 if you ignore the pistol. And it does not look like much is going to go Vega Squadron's way anytime soon.
Yeah. It's not looking great. Big, will they play passively or do they want to get aggressive somewhere? I think this is a great match for them to take liberties and get that confidence and use that confidence. Smooya will be tested, and it looks like Smooya actually died to Crush there, but the push comes into B. Once again, Tizian is being tested, and finally he'll falter, and this aggressive round where Vega just takes jewels everywhere is actually working out. JR gets 2 picks as well now. Tabson is just left alive in the middle of nowhere.
All of a sudden, it's a 1 versus 5. That is shock and awe. With all those pushes, Vega Squadron had left the bomb, which is going to be collected now. Doesn't look like it will matter at this time. Nobody covering Pop Dog as the bomb makes its way, but there is an escort there, so they won't be too concerned. And Tabson's in a situation where he needs to hold on. I mean, he'd be crazy to do anything other than that in this situation, but Smooya has $150 and Tabson's holding an AWP, so that will be much needed money, but Smooya might have a bit more. There wasn't that ladder play in the previous round, and even though they've got lots of money now, that can quickly disappear on a CT side. Plenty of rounds to play. So this is quite a run from Vega Squadron. But they need a few more of these before they can be at ease. We can see the money for Big Clan. So let's see if they can get some consecutive rounds. Tabson doesn't look like he will be challenged. And Vega Squadron will move to round number 4. Their first buy-round win.
Yeah. Though, it's... You know, whenever a team has been struggling and they win a buy rounds, the question is always, is that, can they replicate that somehow? You know, what was the nature of this buy round? And if we look at it, like right there, for example, Crush just peaks, it gets the pick peeking into Smooya's AWP. You can't imagine that that's consistent to win that fight. You would say, in fact, that the majority of the time, Smooya should surely win that fight. And Vega, you know, on the other hand, were sort of pushing aggressively towards B as well, just pushing everything at once. So I'm not sure that that's a consistent approach, but we'll see. We'll see what Vega are able to string together here as they move into the following buy round. And the bank is not depleted yet on Big's side, so they have a lot of work to do in that sense. And there's a pretty big mix-up of positioning here. 4 players towards the A side of the map for Big. Tabson lurking around the A positions, getting real close with that AWP towards T main instead of playing B, where Tizian is anchoring by himself at this point.
Smooya and Nex have just switched positions, actually. Nex was inside the connector area, but now Smooya can try to hold upper with the AWP, but the smoke will cause a problem. The numbers game trying to be abused by Vega, not going down the ramp just yet. Tizian trying to move forward, getting tagged, getting fragged. Now Smooya keeping an angle on the oil position in case the T's want to push further. Eventually they will pick that position. Tabson picks off in the meantime though, and Chopper's pushing behind the smoke near connector, so there are problems. Smooya eventually sees a player on the high ground down to the low, and there's still that T towards oil. Next picked off as well, and again, that money for Big is getting drained like they're in a Gucci store.
Yeah, I do wonder as well, you know, looking at the first offensive play from Big, we saw that, you know, instead of Smooya trying to actually opposite players were coming to the side, he's trying to throw a deep flash for his teammate, and you wonder there, you know, do you want Smooya flashing for his teammate, or do you want him trying to AWP people as they're trying to move into position? And obviously we'll never know the answer as to how that would have gone, but it would have been cool to see what he could have done with just shooting people, because after he was unable to shoot anyone because he had the flash out, we saw that there was no opportunities for a frag.
This is a round where Big can buy. They've taken the tactical timeout. What is going on? What has changed? We were looking so good. We were so confident. It looked easy for us, but now Vega Squadron are wiping our money out. This could be our last buy for a time. We could have Vega go to an 8-5 scoreline, so Big have to make a change. Hashtag Michael Jackson. See what they go with. AWP is out again. I don't know how much success the AWPs have been having. It's not quite overpass. Nex still hasn't got a kill. Got 3 assists though. So he will want to get on the scoreboard soon. Now, in fact. No time like the present, as they say. Tizian will be the only person really short of grenades. 2 AWPs continue. So Gopi going back towards the Ivy position as normal. Smooya going aggressive towards Ivy though. Meanwhile, JR is getting flashed off. Maybe looking for an early pick, but the flashes continue.
Much more emphasis towards this A side of the map at the moment here from Vega. B has been a repeat success, but this A yard might be a different story here. Tabson, the yard, and next goes down towards Pop Dog. That is not a good look. Tabson has to drop off. His support's gone. Going for a play here. They go through the smoke. Tabson figures it out though. Ever reliable, holding the front by himself at the moment. No fear, and that's going to cause Vega to go back to B, and this might be a great play. It's one man on top of oil. Tizian's playing as well, drops down, and he does manage to find himself the kill. Keeps himself alive as well. 4 versus 3 for Big as they go in for the retake of B.
Smooya moving through the connector smoke, and Tizian is near the spools. Tabson is still on the A site for now, as the bomb hasn't been planted yet. And there it goes. Tabson looking for a flank from main perhaps, so this may be a slow retake attempt from Big. 2 players near connector now, one seen jumping, and that's Smooya taken out. 3v3 now, and the CTs are all in the B-bomb site. Chopper has been eliminated. We've got Crush on the high ground, JR on the low. No Molotov for these T sides. They need to frag out. Tabson is still near connector though. 2 CTs on the site, and Crush is going beyond the usual expected position. He sees one player. This is the, oh god, he did a Bardolph, and that is 3 players surviving for Big. He had the flank. He went for the spray. It's one of those situations where you fire a certain amount of bullets and 19 times out of 20, you know that guy is dead. But this time he isn't. Completely fails. Then he's kind of stuck between going for the other player, going back, gets stuck in between, and opportunity lost for Vega Squadron.
Yeah, that was a round-winning position, and you have to wonder what is the impact on a player that doesn't have an enormous amount of experience. When you make a move like that in this kind of a tournament, that's going to be difficult. I don't know, how he is sort of emotionally and his experience levels, but that's difficult to deal with, and that's difficult to create a situation where it doesn't affect you. That takes experience for sure, and JR going for a lineup here. Ooh, he's close, but not close enough. And a big opportunity here now for CT side. See some nades out onto the A yards. And a pop dog burst. And big F4 players. This will certainly be quite the fight.
In go with Granates. Tabson taking one in the face. Gobby will be seen on the radar at the very least, moving forward now. Attack sometimes the best form of defense, but he's stuck behind the smoke for the time being. Next trying to position himself, really not having a good day as Next. And now we've got a 3 versus 5. Gobby has to move away. We've got to catch Hadji off guard, but can he find Hutji does get a frag, but traded from main where JR was. We saw him on the X-ray, and there is Smooya. The bomb has been planted. Tizian and Smooya both have kits, but where is the next frag going to come from?
Yeah, lots of nades there on Smooya, so some utility to try to stop these Ts from making this defense work out. Tizian pushing forwards there in no man's land. Very difficult. What the hell was that? Smooya, absolutely crazy stuff. Now on for the clutch. 14 HP though. Doesn't know where the remaining player is. Could be absolutely anywhere, and he comes in from the back. My God, Smooya. You never know what he's capable of.
What was that? How was that a no-scope on a ladder? Please show me it again. Vega keep coming out of this smoke on Pop Dog. No, dude. That's like, remember when Oscar did that in the Pop Dog ladder? When he went up the ladder, did a 180 and no-scoped somebody. That's even worse. It's just that it looks like for him, he's like, yeah, this seems normal to me, so I'm just going to go do this. Easy. So you can see JR is fast into main. So again, they know Pop Dog is empty. But Chopper is very exposed there. Even if you get shot in the head with a USP from range, it's not as much damage as you might think. You hear that dink and you think, oh God, I'm in trouble. But you're not always from far away with a USP. So a quick one from Vega Squadron. And they're really racking up the rounds now.
Yeah, they're in the lead, in fact. Now, they've taken the leads 7-6. And it's turning out to be a great half for them. And a half in which they, if they win this round, Big's money is so off balance that, Vega stand a really good chance to even get a 9-6 first half. And especially considering how things started out, after the first, 3 rounds were over, it really did not look like that would be the case. But Big do have some decent weapons in this round. They don't have the AWP, but God B will be able to get himself an upgrade, which is really nice.
Next is at risk of going this entire half without killing anyone.
It's true.
But at least they've got 6 rounds on the board, so it could be a lot worse, all things considered. And there he goes again. Next taking one in the face, and maybe it will only be God B to get a pick with maybe the worst weapon they came into this round with. Tabson and Tizian remain 2 versus 4. This is still winnable, however. But they will want to, they need to kind of get a frag before the bomb goes down. They're currently on the A site and the bomb's heading towards B. If the bomb gets planted, then surely they have to go for a save. If they're on A when it gets planted on B, because they don't have a kit, they don't have position. There's not so much going on for them, but now Tizian's moving towards that B bomb site. How many frags is he good for, though, in a 2 versus 4, which will, on the site, probably be a 1 versus 3?
So tough here for Tizian. I can't get the first one. Tony back over for it. Thompson's in action though with that M4. That's a fast 2 kills. The AWP though is going to be difficult to deal with. Always a hard fight to win in a position such as this. Thompson with a double flash hit. Triple flash. Flashes all over the place as he tries to burst his way back in. Thompson looks for the head, but it'll be JR that finds it. 8 rounds now for Vega as Big's economy is in ruins. And Vega, again, they stand a great chance of getting the 9-6 now. And that was a disaster. And as you say, James, Nex he's still on 0 kills. It's got to feel pretty bad for him right now.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can have a horrible half, but 6 rounds on the board, I'm sure Big will expect more, but I don't think they'll be too concerned. Unless they lose a pistol, then that might be trouble for them. But if they go 6 to 9 here, I wouldn't be concerned for them just yet. This should be recoverable for a team with the quality of Big. What can they do with these pistols? Maybe the worst situation would give them the best results, or maybe not. Tizian trying to get something done, but Vega are ready for it. Nex is just praying for a kill. Just give me 1 kill in this half, and that'll cut the tweets down by 50%.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. I like that Vega had the presence of mind to spray that smoke, you know, expecting that Big would do something risky to try to get an advantage here. And tabseN, he's got a scout. It's no AWP, but it is tabseN, so we'll see what he can do with it. He will be teased momentarily as Chopper tries to just jiggle the angle to make sure that he can keep himself safe. Get some info, and tabseN, we know someone's there now. Very tense stuff. If this is to happen for Big, they've got to get frags as Vega go for the entry.
So Nex is rotated away from Pop all the way back into the B bomb site. They know, or they are very confident it's going to be B. Smia left by E-Box. So let's see. Gobby's playing very close, and now he's in a smoke, but he manages to get something done. Gobby has been a consistent here for Big Clan. And no, they're rotating back towards the A site. So now Big are out of position. Everything is empty. They've picked off Smia. And here we go. Nex smoked off in the connector position. tabseN forced to play from the back. He has a scout though. Does Nex make a play through the smoke? He's got no one there to boost. He just has to wait.
tabseN's done a good job so far. That's 2 tanks with the scout. 1 converted already. Frag, but Tony Black will have enough of that. tabseN is laid to rest as Nex tries. He's so close at getting his first frag, but no, denied. 9-6 half here on that T side of all sides for Vega Squadron. Very impressive. Big, they're in trouble right now. They are in a lot of trouble, James.
Indeed they are. My boy JR is top fragging. Nex does not look like the happiest chappy in the world, but don't worry about it. It's not about what's happening outside the server. It's about what's happening inside the server. And despite the fact he's got 0 frags, I think that it's still great that Big have 6 rounds on the board. They know what they're capable of, so everything can change in a different half. Got to forget about what has happened and just focus on what is to come. Pistol run from Big. What do they have to offer? 4 players with Kevlar, Gobby with a smoke and a flash. Looks like a simple one from them. In the meantime, we've got Chopper, who's been given a CZ by Crush. Always nice to see a CZ on a pistol run for a CT side. Plenty of places where it can be engaged very well. Par example, we see there from Chopper. 2 kills for him, making it a lot harder for Big to get something done.
Yeah, the 3v3 now, and Big start to make their way towards A. Tizian catching an unaware Crush, but Hutchie back in action with the USP to equalise. Spots one more out of Pop Dog, trying to do what he can here. The flash comes in. Oh, he's so blind, and a shot in the back of the face. The back of the face? I think that's... What do you call that, James?
I don't know.
Back of the head,
I mean, whatever you like that. Back of the face works if you want to focus on the face. Tony Black in the 1 versus 2, creeping around the smoke. Sees Tizian. Now Tizian knows roughly where he is, and they could play that 2 versus 1. Gobby moving towards D-Box, having a look. With the Glock, he will do the job. That's the pistol round they needed to get. I actually said a phrase, half in English and half in French. When I said par example, I meant to say par exemple. For example. You know, my brain is in 2 different countries at the same time. So I'm confident in Big now. They've got the strats, they've got the players to do this, and hopefully Nex will get a frag. Let's see how it goes. This is a great opportunity for him to do so. He's got the Mac 10, so I expect he'll be one of the players in the forefront looking to farm some kills. Right then. Hot G and Crush with Desert Eagles. This is still a dangerous round for Big. And if Vega Squadron can get if they can get an opening kill here, I think that would be very dejecting for Big Clan. So there could be some psychological warfare to be played here by Vega Squadron if they can get lucky enough.
Is he looking for that entry frag? He's been pretty reliable, I'd say. for Big in the games we've seen last weeks. It's only pistols. What's the worst that could happen? Vega know how much potential's in this round, as do Big for that CT side. Those pistols on train, in particular. This is one of the more deadly maps, and it's just because of the way the obstacles are around the bomb sites. There's lots of really favourable peaks in ways that you can kind of just pop out with the CZ and then pop back, behind cover on one of these trains, and it's difficult to find an angle.
Are they going to peak, or are they going to rely on the bait setup here? Chopper with the CZ. This could be devastating. Here we go. He's playing anti-flash. Hello, there's a train, and there's not a second one. Now, 3 players left. JR and Hutchie already in position around the A bomb site, and Tony Black's coming in from Pop Dog. So there's bomb plant pressure. If Tony Black gets down Pop, there's basically nowhere to plant the bomb, and they've got to frag out Big, but they have no idea just yet.
This is quite tough. Smee will cover, and not too much that JR can do about that. So it's looking pretty calm and confident. As I say that, Hutchie will get an additional kill, but not much else can happen. So a couple of frags for Vega. Not the worst thing in the world, but Big will start to feel slightly more comfortable, because they know that in the next round it will just be USPs they'll have to worry about.
Your kind of music?
Yeah, I'm digging this. I'm digging it.
I know it's not Serbian music, but it reminds me of Serbian music when Janko used to play his... we used to have barbecues. We had a big house for one of our seasons in America. We had barbecues by the pool. Janko would be wielding all the meat and playing some Serbian music. It was good times. But it reminds me... I feel like there's like one instrument which is similar to some of the things you'd use in Serbia. So it just always reminds me of like the Serbian music.
Didn't we have like this huge argument about an instrument once, and I was right?
We've had many arguments about small things, and you were right almost every time. But I'm still willing to have the argument, damn it.
Yeah, I respect that. It's just a different approach. It's like you'll take 100% of fights.
I'm here for the battle. I'm here for the battle, not the war.
Let me take every fight. Right, so we've got just the USPs as mentioned, and one CZ as it was saved, and gives more freedom here for Bigs to just run amok around the bomb sites, around whatever positions they want. They've got the MAC-10s for entry fragging purposes. Run and gun is so strong with the MAC-10, and if you give it away, you don't really care too much. And Molotovs will also serve to remove CTs from any troublesome positions. But Tony Black back at it again with that CZ. Back on the attack, it's not aim that he lacks.
Tony Black is such a sick name.
Putting his opponents on the rack.
Nice. The meat hooks, let's go. Next is on the scoreboard, by the way. Let's give him a warm welcome. He's got his 1 kill, so he can relax now. All is well. All is well. Big are going to tie the score. We're going to see a pair of 9s. And all eyes on Vega Squadron looking towards their bye round, which is about to hit us. Major from Space Soldiers was tweeting saying that Vega Squadron have a unique style in CSGO, but can their unique style pull them back into the lead versus Big Clan? Here is our first test. Chopper will be starting with a MP9, which would suggest to me a Pop Dog play. And there is a man who needs to focus, not worry about stats. It's a team game. Doesn't matter if you have 1 kill if your team are winning. Right then. 4 M4s, no sniper rifles just yet for either side. Godby continues with the MAC-10. 2 of the 5 players for Vega Squadron have helmets, but... Oh, Tizian flying out of the A main position. Molotovs all over the site. How have they got such a barbecue going on already?
Yeah, it's looking like a strong entry. They're just forcing their way forward. Not too much that they can do. They're playing really far back here, so the bomb will be planted. It'll be a 5v5 after plant as Tizian does go down to Chopper and then MP9, and the CTs are all over the place. Good damage done by GotB. What a beautiful finish there with the Deagle. Just very patient, looking for the headshot, and he'll be rewarded with that. GotB in great form recently, and Tony Black back at it again. Look at him go. And unfortunately for him, he's going to find his fate finally at the hands of GotB, but it was a good attempt. But that quick push was brilliant from Big.
Nobody uses utility to put themselves in a position to succeed like Big. I don't care who you are. That bomb site was almost completely surrounded by Molotovs. There was nowhere for the CTs to mount their usual defense. How did they get so much flame there so quickly?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's really, really cool to have a round like that in your back pocket. And this is a game where, Big, I mean, as Pim put it on the desk, they don't want to use any trickery. They don't want to give their opponents any ideas of the stuff they've been working on. But if they have to, I mean, if you've got to win.
I'm telling you, Big are looking dangerous. If you think of how many situations we've seen in a match where there's one key round where you pull something out of the bag that takes your opponent completely by surprise. Can we just take a moment and look at that flashbang? Oh my god, there's so much to talk about. There's not enough time to talk about all the things that Big are doing right now. It is ridiculous, but they are looking dangerous. Again, just when you have that one round where you do something to catch your opponent off guard, it's like Big have 20 of those rounds. And that is worrying. Like, you're seeing glimpses here and there of what they're capable of, but if you're going to play against them in this tournament, I fear for you.
There's also that concern that you've got to make sure that you don't over rely on stuff like that, and you can sort of play those fundamentals. And like, for example, that the one position I mentioned before, where Smeo throws that flash instead of just keeping his AWP out. You've got to be careful not to over focus sometimes on certain elements of the game, and that's the balance you got to walk. And this will be an easy one for Big, just marching in. Easy does it.
I need to talk about the flashbang that they threw into Pop Dog, because the one everyone is used to seeing is when you stand above Pop Dog, you right click the flashbang. So if you're in Pop Dog, you'll hear it being primed most likely, then you know to look away. But they threw it, which collided with the air ventilation twice, which sounds like someone's messed up a grenade or has just thrown it in some other place entirely, which is probably going to make you stare at it when it goes off. And if you see how it went off, you have it moves like an inch into your vision. And that just shows you the level of detail that God B is willing to go to get an advantage against you. That's scary. That's terrifying.
Right. So, Big put themselves in a good position. Their money is looking fantastic, and Vega are on the ropes from that sense. But Vega do have a buy in hand. The AWP is in hand. Mr. JR with that one. As James mentioned, JR can be fearsome with a sniper rifle, so Vega will be looking to him to deliver in this round. And for me, I'm just wondering, okay, what's Big's round going to look like? Are they going to? Because this round is really important. It's the round that can break the economy again for Vega. They'll have pistols again in the next round, and then if Big win these two rounds, they're already up to obviously like 13, and the Vega are in a kind of a desperate position. So this would be a good time to bring out something special that you're really confident will just guarantee you this round. But we'll see whether it looks a bit more simple and default, or whether it will be a bit more, there'll be some more trickery up the sleeves of Big. Trickery. Computer issues. You've had computer issues lately, James, right? Your computer wouldn't turn on or something.
My computer at home, is that a whale shark? He's got a whale shark on top of his computer.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That's amazing. Interestingly, whale sharks are filter feeders.
Yeah.
They just eat like plankton and stuff like that.
It's crazy considering how enormous they are.
In the
size of a bus.
one season of E-League, we were there for 2 weeks in a row, and we had a we had a Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, and in that time I became a qualified scuba diver and then went into the Georgia Aquarium, which has 4 whale sharks in it. Those things are enormous. They are absolutely massive. That's a really awesome toy there. So we're not sure exactly what the issue is just yet, but yeah, my gaming PC at home, if I turn it off, it won't turn back on again. Basically, I have to discharge all the electricity in it.
Oh, is that consistent?
And yeah,
every time if you turn it off,
I'll have to mess around with it and reset the CMOS and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and it takes me almost 2 days for it to get it to turn back on again. So if I want to play Counter-Strike, I just have to leave it on forever. basically, and I have no idea what's stopping it from turning on. So it's completely wrecked. But I don't know why.
I'd say nothing has in this life has made me more angry than you go away for a week, you come back, computer just doesn't work now. It's like I know, right? You try to figure it out, and it's like, oh, now it's just not booting, and then you do something, it gets worse. I'm like, I just don't understand. My lack of knowledge, my ignorance is infuriating me. I don't understand.
So we have a quick tactical timeout from Big, and we'll be back into things. But very quickly, do you remember the era of Windows machines where, regardless of what you were doing, they would just reboot to install updates? You could be inside a game of Counter-Strike, you could be a server, anything. They're like, nah, we're rebooting right now. But now in Windows 10, it's like, I quit Counter-Strike, and it's like, we kept these notifications away from you. Finally, they realize how machines should work, at least in part. 11-9, Big Clan looking firmly in control after what has to be said, a terrifying round of Counter-Strike. Now we have a 3-man investment towards the IV position for Vega Squadron, but from that distance, even if the flash was in Smuya's face, he will be able to see. He sees 2 grenades, and there is a reaction from Big.
Yeah, deciding to just go outside. They know how far away the players are in towards Ali, so they can just run out for free, and there it is, using grenades to help cover. Next gets an easy one onto Hutchie, and he'll get shot in the back there through the smoke, so covering fire back through it as he swaps out the weapon for a more fully loaded one, and there's plenty of space here. Ooh, the HE follow-up almost prevented the bomb from going down there. It's risky business, but Godby survives, as does Nex, who is having a much better round here. 2v2 afterplant though, this is doable for Vega.
Tag. Now some information is known by both teams, but Smear picks off Tony Black in the meantime. Another question is, where is Goppy? Where is the trace back? And Smear getting very leery with the pistol and finishes off the job. So Big had to identify what Vega Squadron were doing. They saw some aggression towards Ivy. They knew it was an Ivy take. There's at least a 2-man investment there. Goppy and co seem to realize where a hole is likely to be. Reacted, charged into the A side, and then we see that is such a fast pick from Smear. Not afraid to go for the kill as well. Allow Goppy to just be hidden and win the round for his team. 12-9 now in favour of Big Clan. They are in the driving seat. They're in all the seat stand. They've got the car to themselves.
Yep, it's just Eagles again for Vega, so not a good look, and perhaps a faster approach from Big. They'll toss out a bunch of grenades initially, but they don't actually go in with them. Still got plenty remaining. Perhaps looking to see a reaction, but there won't be one really from Vega, just some repositioning around A. More utility from Big. So this is that situation I was talking about, getting to that 39. Obviously, the round's not over yet. Vega have opportunities to create problems. But Vega trying to make it safe. There is the bait, the tease. The perhaps promise of maybe another peak for Smuya to capitalize upon, but no. We'll be backing away, and Vega going for a play maybe into team main. It is Chopper that's going close, and Vega playing it real slow here. They do want to try to catch something like this, but how far will Vega go?
Vega fully invested in the B-bomb site now. Sorry, A-bomb site, hello. Now, Big don't have all the time in the world. Smear, how far is he going to go with an AWP in this situation? This is a very interesting approach. It's going to cost them everything. The bomb's been taken away, and Tizian has to force the issue here, going for a flashbang. But he's got to pick up that bomb as soon as possible, and they see that there's a stack in the A site, but what choice do they have? Completely exposed. What? Manages to get a kill. 20 seconds now. 1 versus 3. Their damage is going to stand in the flames and do as much damage as possible, but Vega Squadron given too much real estate. Walking into main with the AWP.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that was.
It's one of those situations. You see this happen quite a lot. The teams sometimes overlook the fact that if you void the team main position, especially in a round where it can even be in a buy round, any kind of round really, a CT the side that's playing actively, it's quite common that they'll try to push a player in there. If they see that there's no one there, and you want to go back into that position late round, you have to assume that the CTs have it, and you have to have a good retake effort. Obviously, Smear walking around the corner with the AWP is not the most consistent way to do it, and that's given Vega a chance, which perhaps they shouldn't have had. Vega have to be careful not to give this one away. The flick from JR not connecting. This is such a lifeline for them. They have 3 AKs, James, that they picked up. That's pretty huge.
That is dangerous on the CT side. The score is still close. It's a big frag from Next, delivering on the T side now. Maybe he can be the difference as we move into the late stages of this match. Crush going for the spray, but the Tracers will betray him. Chopper doing some damage as they move through into the A site. Big. You also have possession of Ivy as well for the time being, jumping through the smoke, but JR forced away by the flashbangs, and that is going to really help Big. And now Smuya has a superior angle, leaving Chopper and Tony Black to try and take this fight back. They cannot afford a reset here, Vega. They have to win this round.
Coming in from the back there, free kill, and Tony Black wins out his engagement as well. This is problematic. Really nice stuff there from Tony Black. Gobi has to go for the plant here, and he knows his opponent's too far away to punish him, and maybe considering the AWP there for just a split second, but retreating with the AK-47, and this 1v1 is very difficult for Chopper because Gobi can be absolutely anywhere in this position. How do you find him? There's no utility there for Chopper. He does not have a kit on him just yet. I'm not sure if there's one on the ground somewhere, but that will certainly make things much more hectic for Chopper. He's going to have to stop running soon. As soon as he does that, Gobi can just peek out. Oh my goodness, Chopper guesses correctly. And he has, I believe he has time here, yes. It's going to be close though.
It's going to be close.
Does he have time? Oh my god, it's so close. Oh my god. That was so close. Wow. Wow, there's so many ways that could have gone wrong for Vega Squadron.
That is a huge round for them. A huge round. They've got so much opportunity now because Big are going to buy within an inch of their economy. Could they steal Train away from Big Clan? I mean, look at the money left on both sides. Somebody is going to be in trouble. There's a pause just before the round kicks off, but that will give us some extra time to look at this situation. This is a high pressure round for both of these teams. Big as well, they've got more loss bonus coming their way, so perhaps they would be able to muster a bye if they were to lose this round. In fact, that is likely, but if they were to lose that round, then that may be the match. So it seems that Smuya in particular is having some kind of audio problem. Maybe it's Slack which is required, so it seems it'll be plugged in elsewhere or something. Okay, so yeah, I think it is Smuya specifically. Peripheral issues.
Was it Woxic that had his mouse like smashed open or something?
Say that again?
Was it Woxic that had his mouse like smashed open or something?
Yeah.
What happened there?
So as I understand it, I don't know if it was a practice game or something, but he was playing a game of Counter-Strike and he was right-clicking to do something and his right-click stopped working. And then, I don't know if it was at the same time or later on, he was left-clicking and his left-click stopped working. So then he just Hulk smashed the mouse out of pure fury. Blind fury. And it's like, oh god, well, if it wasn't working before, extra not working now.
Well, I guess at least there's no hope there. You just let go of it. It's like this. Well, yeah, that's.
I think twice I've like smashed the mouse on a table, not broken it, but some frustration.
I was too poor to do that, James. Like when I was when I was a player that raged, I was way too poor to break stuff. It was really difficult actually. I had to find stuff to hit, but it would be like a wall or something. That's too painful. So.
I never used to rage, but I get angry now because there's a lot of people don't understand at the moment even basic communication. Like you frag someone, you tell your team where you frag because you need to have a mental picture of what you think is going on around the map at any one time. Look at somebody like Gobi. You saw that round where Smuya sees the grenades coming through Ivy, and based on that action, they basically make a play that wins them the round elsewhere. You need to communicate with your team. If people can't even communicate properly out of pure laziness or ignorance, then you're just going to make life harder for yourself. So when people don't, meet basic expectations,
your expectations are too high, James.
I am very merciless, very, very, very merciless indeed.
I have zero expectations. That's the trick.
Yeah, you have to manage your expectations, but like saying like, I fragged the person in the window of Mirage. It's like, okay, well maybe the short player's going to try and cover that so we could exploit the guy on B because he's probably going to be fighting on his own so we can use a numbers game. That kind of thing. It's maybe very short-sighted not to talk to your teammates.
But maybe that guy has tonsillitis, James. Maybe it's really painful to speak.
Maybe you should log off then. Maybe he should log off.
Maybe that's like the only distraction from the pain that he's going through. James, you want to take that away from him?
I care not for that. There's no time for this. There's no time for this in my games of Counter-Strike. I had no sympathy growing up. There's no sympathy to be had. so I give no sympathy. A device is being replaced, I am told. So
not Device on Astralis, but
device is not being replaced. No, he's
irreplaceable.
Arguably irreplaceable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't speak Danish, otherwise he would be replaceable.
It's awesome. I love that the Astralis core has stayed together. I remember the days when Zipex was on the chopping block, about to be chopped, but he saved himself.
Outrageous.
He became the chopping block. And then just suddenly became incredibly good. So, right, okay then, yeah. All right, guys, I'll step it up. But that was a long time ago. That was 2016, I think.
Zipex is the man. He's like, honestly, every Astralis match that I commentate in this major, he is going to be the only GoTV pick. I'm vetoing all the other 9 players. For educational purposes, it's going to be Zipex every single time. Yeah. Because I feel like there are few people you can learn more from in one game of Counter-Strike at the moment than Zipex. I'm talking about like the average person watching at home.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things. Like one, he's very methodical and very intelligent in how he plays, and he plays for consistency. And secondly, the role that he plays on his team sort of allows you to see a lot of how that everything comes together from his perspective and his impact on the team as well. So it's very all-encompassing. But back into the game, which is fantastic. Big on the ropes. JR nailing Smooya to the wall, and Gobby getting a similar treatment there from Tony Black. The bomb is on the floor, and Vega escape. And Big are wondering what the hell just happened. Oh my god, the flashbang.
Oh, I wonder if he saw something. Chopper. Well, note how Vega Squadron don't opt to try and defend the bomb there. They have a 2-man advantage. They've got colossal advantages. It's hard for Big to execute in a 3 versus 5. They don't need to try and hold on to the bomb in that position. They can let the T's have it because they have so much more. They can let Big come to Vega Squadron. And they've got plenty of utility to slow them down and retakes and so on. So they are comfortable in their own skin. Hutchie near Pop Dog. Chopper very passive. There's a big expectation of the B bomb site here from Vega Squadron.
Yeah, you do have to be careful. When you're 5v3, it's such a big advantage that you have to always question, okay, what is the one way that we can lose this advantage? And that could be maybe someone lurking alley. That can be a common way it could happen. Or there's all sorts of ways. Just so you have to be prepared for it and don't overplay your hand is a good rule of thumb. So we'll see, how this works here for Vega. They have really forward positions, so they have the information to have 3 players on B like this, due to having a player in Pop and fast rotations. And in goes next. Nice entry from him. However, still more to go though. Chopper playing close by the ladder, and he'll drop the bomb. Brilliant stuff there, the HE thrown. Oh, that's a bit of a whiff, and that's going to be a problem. Next takes him down as well. There's a real chance here now for Big. Tabson gets the plant, a 1v3 with the AWP. He absolutely has a chance with this.
He's got some breathing space with the smoke grenade. He had to land that shot though. Hutchie creeping close. He's got some 1v1s, but he's got to be so careful about his positioning. Oh, and really, maybe nerves are settling in because we've seen Tabson do crazy things with the AWP, but not this time. And he realizes he had some opportunities there. The first engagement, the long-range engagement, he could have got a kill there. Could have got a kill on Hutchie as well. Who the hell knows what might have been possible, but Vega Squadron survived. It did look somewhat nervous there because Big got more mileage than you might have expected in that situation, but it was a great start from Vega and a strong finish, ultimately speaking. 3 people alive.
Yeah, I do think, I agree. Like, Tabson had an opportunity. Like, you look at what he had, and you look at the fact that it's Tabson with an AWP, and you do see, I think that he makes that clutch most of the time. Because the first 2 kills were offered up in 1v1s. The first was very favorable. So yeah, that does look like nerves, actually. And that's a problem. That's a problem. That's perhaps a crack really starting to settle into Big. Perhaps that crack will widen, and Vega will have enough of a vulnerability in Big to take them down. We'll see. Double ults for Vega now. Utility all over the place here. Hot G pushing forwards, takes down next. Oh my god, he's doing a lot of damage. 2 frags in the forward positions there of the A-Yard. Chopper now waiting. Will he be able to get anything? No. Godby denies him with the Galil. Chance now for Big.
2 versus 3. Godby has Smuya near the IV position, and there it is, holding it down. Very important for the bomb to go down, and now he's covering the pop lock position as well. Smuya going for the 3rd kill. JR has no expectation of Godby here. Godby with a nice swipe, a swing to the right to try and bait the shot, and a massive clutch. But it was so important that Smuya picked off the IV position. Again, if you're planting the bomb there, you really need that covered, and that 2nd kill was so important. Godby, you can see on his face, he realizes how important these rounds are, how close they are to potentially losing this. They had to win that round. The money was disappearing before their eyes, but they managed to do it. And Godby's been playing really consistently well in the games we've seen so far from Big. He's been very important for his team.
And there might be aggression here from Vega on Ali. Both teams off balance at the moment. It's a really close game. Not really what was expected from anyone, I don't think. Now what is the move here from Big? They've set up a split onto the A site. They've got control of Ali. Chopper will try to take some info there on T main. So Vega have a pretty good picture that it's going to be A. They've got 4 players there as well, and they'll have to defend the onslaught now. Oh, that jump actually serves... Tizian serves himself up to crush on a silver platter. That's a 5v4 now. Oh, this is slowing down a bit. Smuya tries to counter boost this. It's not going to find much just yet, though. Ooh, he misses a shot. Crushed with another one. This is looking real bad now for Big, really quickly.
This is not the reset they can afford. This is literally not the reset they can afford. 2 players with $1,000 in the bank. They don't have much more going on than that. They need some kills here. Next has got 1, but that's going to be the only one. This is trouble. You saw how much that 1 round win meant to Godby, but now they've got that instant reset. Vega Squadron survive in the numbers. Their money's not fantastic as well, but now Big have a decision to make. Do they eco and play for the next buy round, or do they do something more? They pretty much have to concede the lead to Vega Squadron at this point. And it will be a question of damage with Godby picking up a Desert Eagle, a pistol here, a pistol there. This is turning into a real tight game of Counter-Strike. Let's see what they can do. Now, Chopper is close to... Well, he's in Pop Dog, so he will hear some of the running from the people upstairs. And that may keep 2 players over towards B, at least, for Vega Squadron. JR and Tony Black. JR on a quick rotation, but here are the numbers immediately. JR spotting a lot of them, and didn't really want to expose himself to all the numbers there, but that means that Big have entirely got into the site. And look at Tabson's position. He's just walking with the Glock here. He may need 3 headshots, though, to get a kill.
He's finding his way behind them. Oh my goodness. He's got to be really cautious here. There's lots of different ways to do this, and Crush will arrive at just the right moment there to save his teammates, and it's looking pretty good here now for Vega to retake this round, and the money has been, well, as much money as can be gained for Big in this round has been gained.
Get out of there.
I mean, Tizian, not only has he saved an AWP, his teammates got a bomb plant, and that's really best case achieved.
I can't believe they picked up an AWP from that round. The bomb plant was much needed, but that AWP is huge. That's a huge win for them.
Yeah, there's no way they have it otherwise, for sure.
What a steal.
I mean, right now, Vega look... Like, Big looked like... I mean, as you said, you know, it looked like there was some nerves settling in here. It seems like there is some weakness on Big at the moment, and Vega are really exploiting it. And it seems like they're rising to the occasion. This is looking great for them, and there's a real chance for them to take this match, which would be a massive upset. And Vega, always good for the upset, it seems. Now the AWP here saved. Smuya, he's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders here for Big in this round. To find that pick, to find the opening, just create a hole that can then be taken advantage of.
If they can get a bomb plant and Smuya is still alive with the AWP, that's going to be a huge problem. Before that, I think it's going to be difficult for him to be a can opener on a map such as Train. But if he can survive through to a bomb plant, then I think that could be very interesting indeed. We've got counter flashes coming in from Vega as Big tried to use the numbers to push into the A bomb site, excuse me. But JR is on the high ground of B, so there are 4 CTs here, but 3 of them have just disappeared. They've just melted. Smia taking out Hutchie, and now we have problems for Vega Squadron. They need to save these weapons. 3 players have just shy of $5,000 on the team, so they can survive this. But their play in this round is done.
Yeah, this is really close now. This is crazy. Big will tie things up. Vega, they're unable to deny Big that sort of first portion of map control, and what happened there was that Big were able to coordinate a push from T-Main and from Hot Dog at exactly the same time. And so that was obviously a very strong way to attack, and having players that were forward means that you lose the first couple players instantly, and then there's just too much to trade for that third player who just went down straight away afterwards trying to trade. So that could be one of the goals for Vega, is if Big tried to do something like that again, you want to find a way to stagger that push so they can't coordinate as well. Otherwise it can be difficult. You can see here just beautiful timing coming into the bomb side.
Nice.
That is actually crazy.
Yeah, that's the Tabson we're used to seeing at this point.
That's a very big frag.
He is a VIP for his team. Well, here we are, 14 apiece, and surely, I mean, the money is decimated. The banks are closed for both these teams. This is the round now. This is the round. It's huge for both sides. You do wonder if nerves will start to settle in. And a sniper rifle onto both sides. Smuya again looking for a player to move up the ladder, and he might find one soon. Let's see if we've got a rifler lurking around those smokes. 3 smokes around the A sites at the moment. JR again on the high ground of B, but Hutchie has been taken out towards Pop Dog. Early problems for Vega.
Yeah, this is very, very problematic. How do they find a way to... How can they create equilibrium here, a balance? How can they find a way to get that kill, even things up? It's very hard. Right now, Big, the ball is in their courts. Vega, if they are to take an aggressive maneuver, it could go very badly for them. Nice pop flash coming in from JR, looking to get a peek, and that will perhaps confirm that Big is setting up the push onto A again. It worked out really well last round.
JR, is he going to flank with an AWP? That is a massive gamble, it has to be said. Chopper playing a blind spot. Tabson, what is that? How do you get a frag like that? And that could be the frag that wins Big the game. Or is it? Vega now with 3 frags in response. Godby getting tagged, but he's still alive. Now JR's on that flank. He's flanked all the way with an AWP. Surely Smooth gets picked off. That's the bomb on the high ground falling down now. And JR need not re-peek again. Godby wants to know where Tony Black is. He knows where JR is. He has no grenades. He's got 20 seconds to plant this bomb. This could be absolute disaster. How does he clutch it? JR doesn't need to peek any longer. Where is Tony Black? Both sides of the site are covered. Now he's running in towards the B bomb site. There's a rotation already from one of the players, but JR may be delayed because you never know if Godby's going to go back.
Yeah, there's just enough time to get this planted. The only way that he can win the round, and there's just no space to maneuver, no time to do it. What a beautiful save there from Crush. You got to give it to him. You know, 2 kills, very needed kills after Tabson just eliminates his teammate who he's playing with, just instantly removed, leaving Crush alone. Gets those 2 kills. That gives enough space and breathing room for JR to flank without having to worry about someone looking for him. So, wow. This is going right down to the wire here between these 2 teams. Again, I don't think people really expected it, and you know, Big did get the bomb down thanks to God B, which does give them a bonus on their money, $800 each. But look, it still is appalling. Only 3 players can purchase rifles. No one can drop for each other. Next has $1,200 because he's obviously already bought Kevlar and helmet, but he's got $1,200 left to buy a weapon with. So UMP.
That bomb plant was so crucial for God B. This is quite a game of Counter-Strike. Now, there is a chance for God B and co. because of the bomb plant. The situation is a lot better than it otherwise would have been. That was so needed. If they're going to do this, they're going to do it the hard way. And Vega Squadron, always surprising us at the majors.
Yeah.
And on the way to the majors.
Yeah. You know, this is always an experience thing as well. How do you deal with opponents who are big underdogs? How you play against them? And you know, perhaps Big didn't have, the foot all the way down on the pedal.
Oh, now we've got JR over towards Connector. The last few rounds, he's been playing upper B and has not had much action, but Tony Black will be taking care of that job. Tabson creating some noise and losing half his life in the meantime. And Big starting slow with eyes towards Ivy once again. And it seems that perhaps Big want to try and exhaust some of this CT utility early, and they're doing a reasonable job of that. 2 smokes and a bunch of flashes left now for the CT side for the most part. And JR has been rotated back into the B bomb site. Crush moving away from the IB position. And there's a big push here from Big Clan into the A site. It's me over Crouch Peak with the AK. So far, so good for Big.
Yeah, there's a lot of free space here towards the hell position, and that is maybe too much free space for a Big to maneuver, because now there's just 2 ops left. Oh my god, I think he got it through the bottom of the train there. Yes, indeed he did. Very nice by JR. Doesn't stop the bomb from being planted, but that is a much needed frag. Tony Black coming in with the M4, can't get it done through Pop Dog. Now you have 2 AWPs. How do they make their way past these choke points? It's so awkward. In reality, they want rifles in this position. If the pistol comes out, that's not going to work out for you. JR, another shot, another kill. 2 more players to go now as the bomb starts to tick faster and faster. He will go for the fake here, and that's an instant frag from God B. Vega Squadron, they don't make it happen. It's the comeback from Big. They secure overtime, and this one is not done just yet.
Smuya with the AK entries into the A bomb site. Got 2 frags before the tag through the train itself. Really important kills for his team. Look how close he is to his teammate. Instant trade. That is really good teamwork by Big Clan as I think the pistoling players are moving in and the AK players are cleaning up afterwards. And here we are in overtime, and that is a sigh of relief for Big Clan. Now everything is reset.
Yeah, it's one of those spots where you wonder if like the double ops sort of encourages a setup that's not going to be great against a pistol rush. We saw the entire team was able to run down hell basically with no one really covering because there was a smoke on the alley position, and then it's very difficult to deal with. Vega Squadron, they are so close to making the upset. They didn't make it happen. Can they save themselves here? Or will Big nip it in the buds and just take it from here? Big continuing on the T side, of course. Smuya on the AWP. And we'll see what they have in store now for the likes of JR. Oh dear, that's very scary stuff between Smuya and JR.
That AWP duel between those 2 positions is very curious, but you don't see it all too often. Haven't mastered that one yet myself. 15 apiece. Hutji in a very forward position. Does he know his angles? Note how the bomb is not thrown on the floor. It's given to a teammate so as not to concede information to your opponent. Uh-oh. Just casually walking out, takes minimal damage and goes straight back again. He's very close to the ladder though. He's got to be careful he's not touching the ladder in case it would make him inaccurate, but Gobby will find him eventually. Hutji was looking for it and he got what he maybe didn't want, but who knows what he deserved. Tony Black is alone towards the B bomb site. Chopper now has picked up the slack in Pop Dog, and maybe look at all this audio information that Vega Squadron are getting. That is multiple legs going towards the main position, but JR's going to smoke off B. This is very curious because Chopper's definitely heard loads of people rotating away from the B bomb site, but JR has moved from Connector deep into the B bomb site, so I don't know how that's actually possible at this point.
Yeah, some miscommunication, misread perhaps. Either way, Tony Black will take down God B, and they must know that it's at this point. It's been so much time. 10 seconds to plant this bomb. With 10 seconds, Chopper's in a close position. Unable to deny it though. Tabson has Big Black's gun. 4 seconds. He doesn't have time to plant. Tony Black, you got to hold back. You can't go for the frag, and he knows. I was so hoping he'd realize in time. Oh my god. How does he get away? What is happening, James? I can barely talk.
That was crazy. I am so curious as to why JR rotated to B when you could clearly hear people going to A, but there we go. I mean, not everyone has the best of hearing, so we can make no assumptions. 1 round ahead of Vega Squadron. So close these rounds, so close.
Yeah, no kidding. And Big, they spent money on the AWP there, and it's JR to convert with his, sees the bomb as well, which is always a fun thing. Not much they can really do with it in that position safely, but it's always nice to get that bit of information. You know that someone has to go there and collect it.
It's great confidence from JR as well. 28th frag of this match of Counter-Strike, and now maybe Hutchie can do something about this. Surely not detected. He's got the sound cues while he stands in a smoke grenade, but the smoke will soon disappear. Can he take out Gobby? Oh, there's one. Can he find a second one? Oh, the spray, the continuation spray. You won't expect a third play, but he might have seen the shadow. I think he did, but it's too late. The reload takes too long, and now it's a 2-on-2. Yeah,
this is awkward now for Big because they've got a lot of ground to traverse. Next does find some great damage onto JR, who's got the AWP. JR must live. That AWP is a very big threat. Tony Black finding Tizian running around. Tizian had a lot of time in that situation. Perhaps he didn't expect someone to be so close and wanted to just jump past the angle, and that's why he had the knife out. But that will be what cost him his life. And now Next on 25 health has to find his way onto a bomb plant. He's got 35 seconds. It's not... could be worse from a time perspective, but it's certainly not good. He might hear running actually behind him. It's like he did not actually hear JR. Next, will he be able to find the back of somebody? Yes, there it is. Oh my goodness, 25 HP. Can't afford to put a foot wrong. Goes up on top of the ladder. That's a shot from JR. Very winnable now for Next. Up the ladder again, trying to bait shots. And he manages to find it. So many chances there for Vega, but it's going to be Next with 4 kills to save the round for Big.
Really, I mean, look at the margins by which these rounds are being won. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I just don't know which way anyone's going to go. Any round's going to go. JR with the close range shotgun kill with the AWP there. And the Next really delivering now.
Wow. Yeah, that was very close. And the buy here for the CTs does not look optimal. At least they have the AWP on JR. He's been doing very well with it. And looking to perhaps take a risk. That could be very important here. We'll be fine Next. Big with a delay on what might look like it looks like an A-rush to me at with a delay. Looking at the general positioning, Popdog and T-Main. JR, if he gets his pick off, that would be massive. He picks it up. That's Next gone. And that is definitely going to weaken the push before it comes in. JR being active with the AWP. That's what Vega needed.
Yes, this is important. They can't really prepare for him because he's all over the place. JR holding an angle now. The flashbang will take him away. Having a look, and Tapson has really closed the angle now. Big frag, and that's big real estate for him. But there is a player on Hell and a player on the bomb site with the UMP, but Crusher can't get the kill there. He's exposed his position, and down he goes, as does Hutchie. 2 versus 4 in the last round of this first half. Chopper always going for as much info as possible. There's 2 huge frags from him, and a third one from Chopper. Cutting the heads off here, leaving Tapson alone now in a 1 versus 2. Are Vega going to steal another round? They are. How on earth are they doing this?
Chopper, absolute beast. What an incredible series of frags. So decisive. Let's not forget how nerve-wracking this position is. But look at how calm he is. Takes the first player, bursting. Anticipates the peek from Popdog. He knew that second player could have been the guy planting the bomb, but he doesn't choose that. He goes for the guy on Popdog. He played it so perfectly, 1 frag after the next. That level of focus is the level that's required to take Vega over the line here. They move into the second half of overtime with the advantage.
Man, I mean, that's got to be frustrating for Big. These rounds are crazy. But here we are, second half. We're looking for the first team to 19 rounds to take this in overtime. Otherwise, we go to a second one. Double AWPs for Big. They are fully invested immediately into this round. And since they're a round down, it kind of doesn't matter. Because if they lose 2, they would have no money, but they'll all be out of the game anyway. So they can... it's a safer investment, if you will. Tizian alone on the B-bomb site for now. Spots Hutchie's quick engagement. That will allow, that will cause Tabson to rotate into the B-bomb site. And now Gobby and Next are getting aggressive into main. They really want to take something away. They're looking for that information. Oh boy, I think that was supposed to bounce off to smoke off main, but instead, even though it's high, it hits the flames on the floor. Maybe a small thing though.
Tony Black gets the first opening there onto Tizian. Tapson on top of the train. Whiffs the shot. His position given away. JR is going to take advantage, full advantage of that one. A 5 versus 2 now that Hutchie gets a kill as well. Not too much going for Big here. Vega applying the pressure in a big way, because with this round victory, They are very close to stealing away this map from Big. Smooya and Goppy trying to save, and Vega on the hunt. Very important frags if they can make them happen. It's close.
Yeah, seems he will survive for now. Vega Squadron moving to match point over Big. This is quite something. What a game of Counter-Strike. It's been very engaging to watch so far. Smooya still alive. Thank you for going back to the game. See if we saves the weapon. We're getting there, boys. We're getting there. Here we are. Match point for Vega Squadron. Big saved weapons. They are able to buy again. They'll have no money left, but it doesn't matter so much. But it might. If they win the round and survive with one player, for example, that would leave a very interesting situation. So let's see what Big are able to do. Is this the end of train between these two teams?
Yeah, it's a great question. The double orbs. On the CT side, when Vega went for them, it ended up to be quite awkward against the round that came. Let's see if Big can make it work a bit better for themselves. And they'll get aggressive there towards team main and having forward presence on Pop Dog. 4 players here for Big on this A-bomb side, trying to cover every eventuality. Tizian playing aggressively. Oh dear, that's a big kill. Tony Black seems to have figured out Tizian and his aggressions. And that's a 5 versus 4 early in this round for Vega.
Man like Tony Black. Tabson and Gob B rotating into the B-bomb site. It is guesswork now for Big. They don't really have, apart from Pop Dog, they don't know what's going on. They've got nobody in main. They've got no one at all towards Ivy, which leaves Smooya in a very exposed position. He's having to rotate now to back train. In the meantime, we've got grenades being thrown. Gobi rotating back towards the A side, but you never quite know what Vega Squadron are planning. Next picking off Crush, and there is a player maybe trying to go down the ladder, but it would be a huge gamble. That is a very important frag for Big and gives them some more real estate. Gobi's all over the place. Now he's over towards Ivy, and he's about to engage Chopper, I think, but who's going to win the duel? It will be Chopper. Now he's got position to allow the bomb to go down on A. However, Nex is still in Pop Dog.
Yes, it's really awkward. Smooya catches Chopper as he leaps through the air. That's 3v3 now. 30 seconds less than to get this bomb planted. They've got to find a way onto it. Smoke dissipates as Tabson and Smooya, 2 AWPs, both with attention on this site. It's going to be very difficult. Tabson goes down for free. Smooya trying to somehow repair this. There's nothing to salvage, though, as the bomb is planted. Smooya pushing forwards. Now he's the last man standing in the 1 versus 2 after plant as that bomb ticks away. A player close. But how well can Tony Black juke Smooya? Oh, he just nails him straight away. What a performance there from Vega Squadron. Stealing it from Big in overtime. I don't think anybody expected that one.
Never underestimate Vega Squadron.